because she was in York babysitting, and the people she was babysitting for, the mother's mother and stepmother were coming from Alliance, and they were really late getting there because of that. Because I was worried about it being bad when Amy went home, but she texted me a little after 11 and said, I've been here for a while, I finally got home.
When sleet around Cortland and there was snow outside Lincoln. Got over the ridge going into Omaha. It was dry the rest of the way.
Really?
So, once I got past here, I scooted right along.
Pardon?
It's just the way that I buy things for myself. So I go down to Alliance. I go and buy something that I want for myself, but I'm not going to spend $25 on it just for me. They never feel bad. Now Mandy's going to try to steal mine because she knows it's good. It's good.
You knew Sherry Greg passed away, didn't you? You knew Sherry Gregory passed away.
No.
What?
Just heard about it. You said that.
Yeah.
Did you say Sherry Gregory?
Oh my.
I called on Friday. She was at her brother's. He passed away.
Really?
In Colorado or on the Colorado border or wherever he was.
But she was home, wasn't she?
That's what they told us, that she was there.
Call this meeting to order.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Hippia,
Present.
Fry,
Present.
Schroller,
Here.
Hughes,
Present.
Eichmann,
Present.
Price,
Here.
Behrens,
Here.
Rom,
Here.
8.
Okay. First up, we have the approval of minutes.
Move to approve the minutes, regular meeting, November 22nd, 2021.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There you go. Right. Now we need a motion to.
Thank you.
Oh. Okay. I'd like to thank all the council members that have been on this council for the last 4 years. Put in a lot of hours, a lot of time. Will be missed. It takes a lot to, to serve the city, and it's kind of a thankless job a lot of times. And thank you for being on council. So we'll go up front. Yeah.
Yes, well, it's only momentary.
You're going to join them out there.
Come on, Bobby. Yeah. Come on.
All right.
One look. There you go.
I think we got adjourned.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Diane?
Okay.
Diane?
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
She said you have to adjourn.
Sorry.
There's no way.
Terry's out.
Hi, Gary.
Okay. Have a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Take your name, like, if you want to.
Above Denny's on your shelf at home.
There you go.
I got about 3 back.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
you.
Thanks.
Been fun.
Okay, we got the new plaques
Yes, we do.
and the layout.
And the new layout. So some of you are moving, you're moving. Bring your name tag. And the new council,
Everybody's,
where are you
yeah,
at?
everybody's gonna be grouped by ward.
You got the new.
So, yeah, well, you guys are already together.
Are we moving?
And I know Kevin likes the ends, so I wasn't messing with him. This is how it worked out. You're right there.
You're cute, we want you on the camera.
Somebody throw something, I get hit.
Oh, let's hope they don't do
It's over there.
that.
You
You got it?
This one is Lori, Eve, yes. Okay. Yep. You guys want to come up front, the new council?
New council members?
Normally, they come in to your new seat.
You can just come take a seat and get everybody sworn in.
Okay, so the first thing I have to do is read the call, or read the results. And it says, I, Sandra K. Wilson, Marshall County Clerk, do hereby certify the foregoing abstract of votes cast in the city school general election held on November 2nd, 2021 is true and correct, as shown by the returns of said election on the file and canvassed by the Board of County Commissioners on November 8th, 2021. The results: Mayor Jason Barnes, Treasurer Ken Kiekefer, City Council Ward 1 Kyle Garacki, City Council Ward 2 Lori Snellings, City Council Ward 3 Colleen Behrens, City Council Ward 4 Jeff Key. Okay, so yes, you have to be sworn in again. So if you would like to stand and repeat after me.
Raise your hand.
Okay. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas.
and that I will faithfully perform
And I will faithfully perform
the duties of
the duties of
councilman,
councilman,
mayor of the city of Marysville, Kansas.
of the city of Marysville, Kansas.
So help me God.
So help me God.
You're in. Fry. Present. Keating.
Present.
Snellings.
Present.
Bikeman.
Present.
Gurecki.
Present.
Price.
Present.
Aaron's.
Here.
Crum.
Here.
Oh, we have a quorum.
Okay. First up, we have public comment. Is anybody here for 5-minute public comment? Okay. Move on to business and discussion items. First up, we have the 50th Black Squirrel Anniversary Committee. Mandy Cook and Toby Carrod.
Hello. Welcome to the new council members, and hello to the past council members. I guess you're all current. My name is Mandy Cook, just in case you don't know who I am. I am the chair of the Convention and Tourism Group here in Marysville. And oh, there's Kate too, sorry.
I snuck in.
You just scared me. And I'm here wearing 2 hats today. I am chair of the council of the Convention and Tourism Group, but I also am on the 50th anniversary committee of becoming the Black Squirrel City of the United States. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew that we do meet for Convention and Tourism on the 2nd Wednesday of the month. Yes, Wednesday, generally at 11:30 a.m., and it's usually at the Lee Dam Center for Fine Arts. We would welcome any and all of you to come. And so just to kind of keep you abreast of what's going on. In case you don't know what Convention and Tourism does, we try to help people come to Marysville, and not only come to Marysville, but the guest tax, the bed tax, is what is our fund that we get to do stuff with. Some of the things that we have done, we've been integral in bringing the Beach Boys and the band Kansas to town. We have done Black Squirrels on Parade and several other smaller, we do like not scholarships, grants to people who come and see if they want to do things in Marysville. So all sorts of lots of different things, and we would welcome you to any of the meetings. But the second hat that I'm wearing tonight is as part of the 50th anniversary committee. So we've been meeting now for several months. And we are very excited. We have a group of enthused people, I think, and we're all really excited about becoming the 50th, having the 50th anniversary of being Black Squirrel City. We have figured out that we want to do something monthly. Sometimes they'll be big, sometimes they'll be small. We want to try to make sure that we're involving all sorts of populations, adults, kids, schools, the whole shebang, and the library is doing something. And so, but to kind of top that off, we also are trying to do the 50 Black Squirrels for the Black Squirrels on Parade. And I'm happy to say that we have gotten 15 of the 16 of the goal that we wanted to get to make 50. We are working very diligently. We have just a couple of days left before we officially order them, and we think we're going to get 16. It just didn't happen quite as quickly as we thought it was going to. So we're very excited about that, and I will bring you back information on where the placement of the squirrels once I work a little bit closer with the businesses and the organizations that have purchased. Let's see, other things that we're doing for the 50th anniversary. I don't know if you've seen on Facebook, but Colonel Kester, he's our little stuffed squirrel, has been going throughout the businesses, and we've been posting on Facebook for people to be able to find him and get a discount or something that the store has offered. We are going to work with the national or the wildlife, and they're going to come in January to talk a little bit about the origins of the black squirrel, because not a lot of people know that we have special black squirrels, and that's very important for us to make sure that people know. Like I said, the library is working. In April, we are going to have a conversation with Olney, Illinois, who is actually the white squirrel city of the United States. And so just having a fun conversation with somebody else who might be just as nutty for squirrels as we are. We're talking about having something sporty during the summer. Anyway, you can see that we are very, very excited, and we are wanting for other people to get excited. Colleen and Diane Colleen is serving on that committee. I think Diane's going to continue, but anyone else is also welcome. Just email and we can get you involved. So to tell you a little bit more about what we would like to do in January, I want to let Toby take the mic.
Sure. As Mandy said, we've been in discussions with the Department of Wildlife and Conservation to bring a small game biologist to town January 27th. He's going to speak here at the City Hall meeting room. And we'll also have a panel of local people who can talk about the 1972 ordinance and the celebration and all the things that led to Marysville becoming the Black Squirrel City 50 years ago. Also in the correspondence as part of your packets, the committee has outlined a goal of recognizing citizens as honorary Black Squirrel citizens. It kind of will rekindle a program that was done in 1972 with that first celebration where 46 people were honored. And we'd like to do that again to begin accepting nominations soon. And then on January 24th at a city council meeting, have those people recognized who would be chosen as the honorary Black Squirrel citizens. Kate with the Main Street and Chamber is kind of coordinating the acceptance of nominations, and the committee will review those. And I believe we need the city council's blessing to move forward with that program.
Want to make a motion?
Yeah, move to go ahead with the program.
Okay, have a second.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And you'll also see in that paperwork that the committee has laid out a budget for promoting Black Squirrel celebration events throughout the year through various media. Much of the focus will be toward October of next year, kind of that anniversary date of October of 1972. And that'll coincide with the Black Squirrels Night Out and some other celebrations that will be taking place that month. But we also plan to employ some free media opportunities. There'll be some various bloggers coming through this region next year. And obviously with the news release of this kind of event, hopefully we'll be able to pick up some free publicity with just kind of the rare occasion that this is. There's also a line in there for the purchase of merchandise with the special 50th anniversary logo. And we expect that to be offset by the sale of some of that merchandise during the year. And the proposal also includes a line for sound and logistics. There should be musical entertainment as part of the October event. And then we have some other things like portable restrooms, things like that. That is all part of that that's laid out in the correspondence. I think it's been asked for the council to look at that as a possibility to approve.
Okay. Anybody want to make a motion for discussion?
Why is your budget so extremely high? That is a mega number.
It is a big number, yeah. I can understand that. It's kind of one of those shoot for the moon numbers, probably. We included the conversation where some people that have done marketing for other entities in the city and have a background of what they spend in radio and television and what they spend on social media. I think we'd be happy with any amount that the council feels confident would be sufficient. It's just like I said, it's a big number, but it's kind of one of those ask for something big and see what we can get.
So these itemized figures, are those like the average down the road figures, or low end or high end, or what?
It's probably high end, yeah. It's what some people spend on marketing in certain, with certain things like the radio and social media, and they're pretty hefty campaigns. I could see that.
So are they comparing them to what they spent on Kansas and the Beach Boys?
No, it's probably lesser than that.
How much?
Yeah.
Is there any way we could get this a little lower?
Yeah, and we can probably break out things a little more in terms of when we'd want to spend it and where we want to spend it at.
Not to add to that, but I think on some of the numbers, the estimate that they think that they might get from some of the merchandise, you mentioned it, but I think the amount that they were looking at to bank on would be like $7,500. So if you take that out of this budget, then it becomes just a little bit more reasonable.
$22,000 still a lot of money to expend for a program like this, so I'm sorry.
Yep, there's no reason to apologize. That's the reason why we come, and it's okay. One of the things that I would say, we can't do the 50th again. You know, this is the only time we get to celebrate being 50 years of Black Squirrel City, and I think that that's really special. So I'm hoping that other people will be encouraged to share in that excitement with us. So
I'm excited about it, don't get me wrong, but
yeah, we've even, we've talked to several local businesses about being involved. So we're really trying to make sure that we're working with the people of Marysville and the businesses of Marysville to really make sure that they shine during this time. I was actually not part of the budget conversation, so that's really about as much as I can say, which is the reason why we had Toby say it. But yes, we just appreciate any consideration you might give us.
That $7,500 income figure, is that a conservative figure or pretty aggressive? What's your, inclination there?
It's aggressive based on T-shirt sales primarily, I think, as our main merchandise. The merchandise committee hasn't finalized the plans for what merchandise we'll be looking at, but I think we're looking at primarily T-shirts with the logo on it. And there would be opportunities for other retailers in the city to sell things as well.
And I'm going to ask a dumb question. Digital versus social media. Seems like those are kind of similar streams, but they're two separate budget items.
Similar, but they are different. One would be related more directly to something like Facebook and Instagram, and the other would be more toward if I'm Google searching or if I'm using, if I'm looking at a certain website and I'm being fed with certain advertisements within that website based on things I've looked for. There's geofencing and keyword searches that would be included in digital, whereas social media would be more directed towards, like I said, Facebook, Instagram, and
TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh, Todd, don't volunteer yourself.
Why not, I assure you.
But I think we do have a meeting scheduled for this Friday, and I think we can crunch the numbers a little harder and come back to you by next meeting.
Is there an anticipated range of how far you're reaching as far as an audience goes that you're hoping to campaign to, or a certain demographic?
I think the demographics can be varied because some of the activities are going to reach different audiences through the course of the year. I think the reach could be national just because of the unique story that the Black Squirrels are, and that it's a national recognition that Marysville has. So in terms of trying to bring people to town, we're also, you'll have under consideration tonight another proposal for convention and tourism that reflects where people are coming from to at least one of our attractions, and that's more than 70% of the people who come to the Pony Bar in the year are from outside of Kansas. So hopefully we can work off that and still have a lot of out-of-state people come for the events we have planned.
When do you need your budget finalized for this? I know you'd like action tonight, but you don't have to have action tonight, correct?
No, correct, yeah.
Well, the way I see it, sitting in on the meetings, is the monthly stuff is not going to be as attended from outside of the city as the big gala at the end, the Black Squirrel Night, the parade on that Saturday, and then the big thing at Venue 36 that night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see, like for the wildlife,
Right.
I don't see a lot of people from outside of the city. Maybe you might draw people from the county and from the counties around us, but you're not going to draw a lot of people from out for those smaller things.
Correct, yeah, and that would be, we rely on free social media
Right.
for that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so what's the council want to do? Have you come back next meeting with
I was going to say, yeah.
Well, we'll do that.
a little bit more information?
I can tell these are ballpark numbers because they all end in 2 zeros.
Yeah.
So, if you could come back with a little bit sharper and kind of more of a crisp, like this is, an explanation of digital is important because of X or print's because of X, and I think that'd be good. I'm sure that number can be carved down a little.
Yep. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
up next, we have the Chamber Main Street update and 2022 agreement with Kate.
Okay. Okay, are you wanting the contract first, or are you wanting the end of the year report?
Let's go with the end of your report, I guess.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm Kate Tomer, I'm Chamber of Main Street Director, and our overview of the year, we do Legislative Forum, we have Shamrock Marysville Mother's Day Market, Big Blue River Days Festival, Squirrels Just Want to Have Fun, Pony Express Gravel Dash, the 9/11 ceremony, Highway 36 Treasure Hunt. We do a Soup Day fundraiser, Black Squirrel Night, Small Business Saturday, Marysville Christmas and Santa Parade, and it feels like the list just continues. But to kind of give a brief overview of some of the things that we've done, I wanted to highlight how many chamber bucks we've sold. So on this, we had 17,000, but by the time that was like a week and a half ago, we've actually gotten $2,000 more, so we're at 19 for the whole year, which is pretty awesome that money just stays in our community. So that's pretty cool. Trying to think. We had 6 business after-hour mixers, and two of those were ribbon cutting ceremonies for new businesses. One that was during COVID and couldn't do a big open house, but got to this year, or just a new building in general that we were kind of showcasing. We weren't able to do any lunch and learns this year, but we are hopeful that those will come back this spring. We actually have our first one booked in April. I'm trying to think what else I was going to talk about. We are planning a job fair this spring. We are trying to crunch some, days in the calendar to see if it would work at the end of this year, but it wasn't. So we're going to do that in April, and I think we're going to turn that into an annual thing. As many of you know, because of COVID, there's a lot of staffing issues, so that's something that we are wanting to bring to Marysville. For our speaker system, we have raised $1,550, and this is from public support and business. And so we're halfway there to our 3,000 match, which we have to meet by the end of 2021. So hopefully we can get those. We're actually doing a Pizza Hut fundraiser the 20th of December to kind of help with that as well. And we had just got done with our CJ Express one last year, or not last year, but last week. And there are groups coming together, and so we should start seeing those numbers spike up for our downtown speaker system. I've gotten some calls, not official numbers yet, but quite a bit of money is coming in. So we're hopeful that we can get there. We're also doing the Iww Loans. It's a 0 interest loan with a 3-in-1 match. We have about 7 to 8 businesses that are participating in that. We do have 4 applications out. We haven't heard anything yet, but we're hopeful that will still continue. That's a great program that a lot of our newer businesses or older ones that need updated utilize. And that's all I have for that. Are there any questions? There's a lot there. I mean, I could talk for hours about this. But I would say, and the Marysville Christmas and Santa Parade, that was just our recent event, and it went over very well. And since I did this last year, we did just in the streets, and it was really great for COVID. You didn't want mass crowds, but this year was a heck of a lot better. It was easier to kind of get together, and there's a lot of people that were really happy that we actually had a parade this year. So it was nice bringing Santa to town. And then, so the contract, and I have talked to Cindy, and we're kind of late on getting the financial report to you guys, so I'm actually going to come back with that the 27th, and that will have all the information you need to know about that. We didn't really change much. I think Cindy might want to correct me. I think there was something in 11 that we had to change. It was just like a misspelled word. And then we also added, on number 5, I had to look. Closed on federal holidays. I think that was the only thing we added. Otherwise, it was probably just some extra spacing in there that we just took out, or I would say all of it was pretty much the same. We wanted to.
The dollar amount is identical, the time we pay is identical.
Yep.
The date needs to say January 1, not January 11th, because last time we had to wait for them to have a vote And
Right.
they just copied the contract coming forward. So that date will change to January 1, not because it's on a calendar year.
Right.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the contract?
Move to approve the contract.
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0.
Awesome.
It was either Keith or Keith.
Yeah, thank you, Keith.
All right,
Are we good?
I think that's it.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Kate.
Thank you. Okay, next up we have ordinance number 1903, appropriating money for the 2022 payroll.
Move to approve ordinance 1903, appropriating money for the 22 payroll.
Second.
Should I do a roll call on this one probably?
Because it's an ordinance,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, roll call.
Fry,
Yes.
Keating,
Yes.
Snellings,
Yes.
Bikeman,
Yes.
Brackey,
Yes.
Price,
Yes.
Barons,
Yes.
Crum.
Yes.
8-0. All right. Next up, we have ordinance number 1904, pay for the treasurer.
Move to approve ordinance 1904.
Second.
Just to clarify, it's a $100 increase from what's previous, and it hasn't been raised
2008.
Wow.
2008.
The same since 2008.
Yep.
And that's $100 a month.
$100 a month. Yep.
Yeah. Any discussion about that? Roll call.
Fry,
Yes.
Keating,
Yes.
Snellings,
Yes.
Bikeman,
Yes.
Brackey,
Yes.
Price,
Yes.
Barons,
Yes.
Crum.
Yes.
8-0. All right, next up, we have resolution 2021-22, the gap waiver.
Move to approve resolution 2021-22 on the gap waiver.
Second.
Any discussion about that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0. Next, we have resolution 2021-23, opioid resolution.
Move to approve resolution 2021-23, the opioid resolution.
Second.
Okay,
I would add to that, if you could approve the mayor to sign anything, any paperwork related to the opioid, that would be great.
With the mayor to sign.
Second.
okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0. Okay, next we have the NCRPC EDA agreement.
Basically what this is an agreement to write the grant for the 7th Street corridor, as well as on the other side, if we get the grant, they would administer it. And this is pretty much the same agreement that we did for CDBG, and which typically, if we were to do a normal grant, it wouldn't be this extensive, but what they ask us for on this EDA grant is pretty much in line, if not more than what a CDBG grant asks for, and it's quite a bit. So that's why it's right in line with that.
And the new council member, you have any questions about North Central Regional Planning? You kind of probably don't understand how, maybe you understand how all that works.
figuring it out.
There
is a typo on
Where is
this
my typo? I know you told me, but which page is it on?
22, right under Article 3.
I mean, they typed the contract, we didn't, but I will get it
Well, it's
fixed
all in
before we
caps, so it
sign
really
it.
stuck out when I was reading it.
Yeah, so we'll get it, yeah. The word project should have an E in it.
Okay,
And,
Anytime we do a grant, you have to have somebody to administer it.
Yeah, and North Central Regional Planning is, that's what they do, is grants. They also help with policies and stuff like that, but this is their main bailiwick, if you will.
And we are a member.
We're a member.
It's a membership organization.
Move to approve the North Central Regional Planning EDA agreement.
Second.
all right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0.
Question?
Yes.
What's the timeline for submission?
January 31st.
Thank you.
We don't have anything on notices and hearings. Next up, we have the consent agenda.
Move to approve consent agenda.
Have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion about any of the items?
Yeah, I do. On item 5 and number 6, Ag One Service Agreement, what was our agreement a year ago?
Okay, Microcom is identical, and it is a 1-year agreement. And Agland is a 2-year agreement, and it did go up. It is, I can read that result to you, hang on. I looked them up and wrote it on here, so I don't know. Agland's agreement, their basic service call was $2,275, and now it goes to $2,730. And the hourly rate was $125. And the service truck with crane first hour was $225. And the service truck after the first hour was $175. And the pit entry was $500. And there was no extra night stay before, and now they've added that. And like I pointed out, this is a 2-year agreement. This would be 22 and 23.
So is this the company that's out of Atkinson, Nebraska?
This is the one that does the sewer.
Pumps.
Yeah, lift stations, yeah.
Yeah.
The Microcom does water.
Yeah.
Is the water.
They do the SCADA
yeah,
systems.
And the lighting. and
It's just monitoring, the monitoring equipment we have on the water towers, our wells.
Yeah.
Tells us when they're on, when they're filled.
If lightning strikes, if they help us get through the
Yep.
support.
They're a little closer than Atkinson. They're only in Overland Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Any other concerns with anything on the consent agenda? All right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? 8-0. Okay. Next up, we have appropriations ordinance number 3761.
Move to approve appropriation ordinance 3761, amount of $462,556.19.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion about anything on there? Roll call.
Fry,
Yes.
Keating, Snelling,
Yes.
Reichman,
Yes.
Karaki,
Yes.
Price,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Crum.
Yes.
Next up, we have Austin with the staff reports.
First on my list is a fire station projector and TV equipment. This was not a part of the original project. It was, the stuff was included, like the conduit and the wiring for electricity for this equipment was in the project, but the actual TV, the projector, the screen were not in the original fire station project. But since the project is getting closer to ending, we just did a final walkthrough to do the punch list. So we probably wouldn't call it final, but a preliminary walkthrough to do the final punch list. Thought we'd start furnishing our fire station with the equipment. I got a quote from CCS who we bought the City Hall equipment through. Included in this quote is a 75-inch commercial grade TV, a projector, which I think is at least one step up from that projector. I think they moved on from the projector that's out here, and a fixed screen projector versus a pull down or a mechanical. This one just is in a frame, and an HDMI wall port which is how you would control the system. Basically, plug it in and everything turns on. You don't need to press any buttons or anything like that, just to get everything going. So they quoted this. This would be the equipment, and we would install it. As I said, the conduit is there. The wall outlets are there. The electricity is not to the projector yet. Hanover Electric said, bring the projector in and we'll put it where you need it as a part of the project versus him just putting it and then us finding out it wasn't going to work. And then the wall is wide open. So it's relatively simple install. They should give us the diagram on how this goes together. The total quote is $9,688.02. If anybody has any questions on that, I'd be happy to answer.
Did they provide any sort of breakout on that quote as far as the individual components?
I personally went through the list because they give the actual brand, the actual model and all that, and it all, minus obviously their administrative costs to procure those, it all pretty much matches out. I'm surprised the TV, and I didn't have the list of the costs, but when I did this one, I remember the cost for the TVs were $1,000. You go get, it basically lines up with where you would get it off Google.
Well, that's one of the questions I've had too. It sounds like a commercial building. It makes sense to have a commercial monitor, except for my understanding of commercial monitors means it needs to run a lot, like all the time, whereas these monitors are not going to be running very often. So I kind of question the need for heavy-duty equipment for occasional use.
It's going to be used for fire training, but the plan is also to farm it out to let businesses or we're not going to be here. You have to be a not-profit and all that stuff to use this. We could open it up to other people who need a meeting room at the fire station and possibly come up with a list of charges to utilize that space.
Would you be administering that out of curiosity?
It would be us, yes. You come up with the costs. They would come in. They would have to come in and reserve the room, like they would reserve this room, and then we
You have to probably take a deposit.
take a deposit.
Somebody's gonna have to clean it and that kind of stuff. I don't know who that will be.
So we could easily. It fits right in with some of our other fees. So. It just opens up a wider way. We have to turn people away from using this because they're not profit, or they're for-profit entities, versus that one would be a wide open space for use.
I guess my very brief Google search on everything is I came up with short of the wall outlet, which it looked like it was pretty simple. It looks like it's a outlet with an HDMI connection. My 5 minutes on Google was about $2,000 less.
Right.
So I would rather see an itemized quote on what they're proposing.
Okay, that's fine. This is my personal perspective. We can come back with an itemized quote. The challenge with ordering like that, which is why I don't often advise, is that the source of where you're getting it from, and I hate to denigrate like Walmart or something like that, but I hesitate buying the electronic from Walmart versus an electronic from a purveyor that normally does this stuff, because of how I've seen the documentaries of how Walmart lowballs their providers. So I can come back with an itemized list if they are willing to give that, and that's completely fine.
And I'm a little apprehensive of, our city staff, I don't know, who would be the actual people doing the installation?
Our building inspector, we got...
They seem like they've got their hands full,
right.
He does especially, and that's who I assumed would be doing it, so, if that were an installed price, I'd be like, it's not so bad, but... if he's got enough stuff going on, I
If
guess
we-
put that on him.
If we were having to install new, wall outlets, having the conduit not there, I'd probably say, yeah, we need somebody else to do it. But if you walk into the meeting room, you see exactly where the TV's going. You screw the projector screen onto the wall. Jared from Honorary Electric's gonna run exactly what we need to, where it needs to go.
Probably the biggest job's gonna be hanging the wall mount television thing
Right. But,
and putting the screen on the wall.
yeah,
Oh, sure.
Everything
So-
else is basically there except for where the projector's going.
right. So I would've had those hesitations if we didn't have.
I just know it feels like we nickel and dime our staff to do a lot of projects, and
Yeah,
whenever I can find a way to shave that off.
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Item S.
What kind of warranty would be extended with all this? Is this all?
I'd have to look at typically they probably come with a 1-year warranty. Commercial grade might be a little bit different, but I would expect
Just to kind of expand off of Todd's, would our guys in doing the install potentially put that at risk at all?
I don't think so. It's all, it's not like installing that rack that we have in the back. It's almost plug and play. And the only thing we're really affecting are the mounts. Okay, itemized.
And it's not exactly germane to this, but when we get to the point where we're wanting to talk about renting the space out, can we have the council involved with that conversation as far as the program of what it's gonna look like?
Oh yeah, you guys are gonna be setting
I
that
just
stuff out.
That's good, just making sure.
Yeah.
I was asking questions the other day when we were up there. Because they have a keypad to get into the building.
That's good, it can be reset easily.
Yeah.
And
I think they talked like they were gonna reset it like every month.
the meeting room can be a separate entry keypad from the rest of the fire station.
And the restrooms are divisible and everything.
Yes, they're right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a nice space, except I can hear it echoing because it's concrete floors in the meeting room.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so some more stuff for next meeting.
Yep, I will see if they can break that down for us. All right, next one, and I will preface this, you don't have to make this decision tonight. But I brought forth cost of living increase, and I'll go over that. Oh, what about you? I got it.
I was trying to say, you still got it.
The item in the packet, and I'm going to bring this to you, is a breakdown. It included the October to October cost of living, or capital improvement, not capital improvement, CPI, from the Department of Labor Bureau of Statistics. They said from October of 2020 to 2021, we had a 6.6% increase, and that's typically what we would look at as looking at a cost of living increase. On the 10th of December, they came out with their November to November change. They upped the CPI to 7.3%. So this new document that's on your desk outlines that's what a 7.3% increase would look like. It's $185,000 out of the general fund and $20,102 out of the water and sewer funds for the employees for this, if we were doing an increase as it stands right now. If you were to choose to go with the CPI increase. I also included some other examples, 2%, 2.5, 3%, 4%. I did some hard numbers. I probably should have done more hard numbers for your consideration, but 50 cents an hour increase, 75 cent an hour increase, and $1 an hour increase. Down below, I showed an hourly wage increase approximate for the percentages. I did the low, the average, and the high, and you can see those down there. On the new one, I included the 7.3 increase. If you guys want to discuss that, want more information, I'm all for it. I included the Bureau of Labor Statistics, their data with all the information showing what exactly increased, what decreased over the last year as far as that information goes. And then we could talk all about that. What I'm also asking is when you make the decision of what a cost of living increase or adjustment looks like, that we also adjust our wage scale. We haven't adjusted our wage scale since 2018. What that affects is the minimum starting wage for a base employee. It also affects how high our employees can get their wages. So it's just adjusting it, which is a standard practice and in a lot of industries. When you do a cost of living, they typically adjust it by the cost of living. On your
do we have, let me ask this, I guess, do we have very many employees that if we would do this wage scale increase that are actually making less than what the minimum would be?
No, not right now, no. If you adjust the cost of living and then adjust the wage scale, it'll all line up. If you do just the wage scale, then yes, you shift people out.
We're talking now like a $3
We did that one
an hour
year, that
raise.
doesn't work very good.
Yeah.
We haven't done this since 2018. I gave you the 6.6% increase as an example on the wage scale. You also notice the difference. I took the seasonal employees off the bottom. We don't use that anymore. It's been for the street guys. We've done some of the lower, we do range 6, which is below all our full-time people typically. We'll stick them there. It's been above the seasonal ranges, the 7.25 to 8.8, just so we can get those seasonals in. So in the new wage scale, I just got rid of that line so we can move on with that.
Question?
Yeah.
On the wage scale, what does range mean?
That's, okay. So you have a police officer, police officer 2. They are in our job descriptions, they say they start out at, for example, this is probably not right, a range 16. We have 30 ranges. So we go range 16 and you go, it starts at 1931. That gives us where they can start out at. So it's just
Where they start and where they max.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like if you're a beginning employee, you start at $12 no matter what.
It's a guide for us. Yeah.
Is longevity included anywhere?
No.
Thank you.
If anybody has any questions as of right now.
No, I mean, it's always a difficult balancing act between raising the wages and showing the employees that have been here that you appreciate them, while also raising your base pay so that you can recruit new employees and stay competitive with other entry-level, other businesses around town. And we've done it before. We've done a percentage increase. We've done it before. We just did say a 75 cent across the board, which helps the lower end employees on the pay scale a little bit more. There's a lot of different ways to approach this. I don't know if council wants to, it's like Austin said, it's not a decision that you make tonight. I don't know if it's something you'd want to kick to an admin and finance committee or something and kind of kick it around a little bit more with a few more numbers.
I think for the new council members, if we could see maybe a 4-year history of what we have done for either cost of living increase, flat pay increase. Or maybe even go back, since we're looking at the 2018 wage scale, maybe go back to that point. The other thing I would say is that to look at that CPI index, you gotta be very careful, because that's very volatile.
Right.
We all know we're in a high inflationary period right now.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff going on in the world, so we can't take a knee-jerk reaction to make a decision based on an index that takes in a lot of stuff. I mean, this is taking in the cost of a rental spot to park your car in Denver, Colorado. So there's a lot of things that move there, so we got to be careful we don't make a decision in the long term that's going to make it difficult.
Oh, yeah.
You can't ever take it away.
No.
Right, yeah, it's very difficult to take it away once you put it out there. So.
No. But I do know that, I mean, a lot of employers have given fairly large increases. And like I say, you have to stay competitive. I know even a high school kid anymore can start out at a lot of places at $12, $13 an hour in a lot of jobs.
And I would say that's a very good point. We need to take care of our employees.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we got to be smart about the way we do it.
Oh, yeah.
We're not running a business here, but yet we're trying to run a municipality based on taxpayers' dollars. So we got to be mindful of that.
Okay. So what do you want to do?
I'd say bring back those figures Jeff was talking about,
Okay.
and then
Next
we'll
council
maybe
meeting.
look at it then.
Okay.
One question I had, I know there's a lot of places in town that have given COVID bonuses to their employees. Have we thought about doing something like that for our employees that have had to work?
That was kind of the idea of the raise that we gave last year.
Okay.
At the beginning of 2021.
Okay.
I think we gave $1.25 and $1 for police officers, for various reasons. Yeah, that was the discussion at that point in time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to lead into what Colleen's saying, sometimes if you want to reward your employees, you still need to look at that cost of living increase.
Yeah.
But then possibly some type of a bonus at the end of the year that's fixed, and you know where you're at, and it's not going to lead on
Every year.
Yeah.
Okay. So council's in agreement, we'll get some more numbers and bring it back to next meeting.
Going along with this cost of living raise and all this, have we heard anything on our insurance, what it's gonna do yet?
Our health insurance, it stayed the same.
Really?
It absolutely did not change, so that
Well,
was
that's
in the
nice.
last 2 years.
That's good,
We
because
have
you hate to pay more and
absolutely-
their insurance goes up and it's just a wash.
Oh, yeah.
And
Well,
not to drag on this subject, but I did check. I reached out to a friend of mine that works for Evergy. He would be the kind of the business manager for our region. And I asked him, I said, so what are you seeing for the increase in, utility bills for electricity? Right now, they're fixed till 2023. And they can't raise those prices until they get, they gotta go to the state and get approval and all those kind of things. So the inflation thing it's kind of a emotional thing, you gotta be very careful not to make yourself think that, prices are going up, we gotta pay everybody more. Not to take that away from any of our good employees, but we just gotta be mindful of that, so.
Four-year history, right?
What's that?
A 4-year history?
I'd say 4 years would be good.
Okay.
That's kind of why, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, we don't do the full 7.3%, but we come to someplace in the middle, So.
Okay. All right. All right. What I have next is the financials and project costs. As of the end of November, the general fund is sitting at $844,001 with 1 month to go in 2021. This is a good position, as I anticipated only carrying over as a worst case scenario, $314,073 into 2022. The water and sewer fund saw another increase. Sewer fund is now about 20,000 over where it was this time in 2020. And we've been kind of trailing this whole year in the sewer. So that was a good sign. The sales tax fund increased by about 41,000 and is sitting about 30,000 where it was in 2020. As long as there are no surprises in December, I anticipate beginning 2022 in good shape. As you can see through all my numbers, I basically highlight the main funds, water, sewer, general, but you get the feel from the first sheet, the cash and budget statement of all the budgeted funds. The general fund is broken down from admin to police, municipal court, all that. You can see that from month to month. And then the cash and budget statement for non-budgeted funds is that second page on page 69. So you can see, you basically see all the funds. At the bottom of 69, you can see the month operation ratio, and then current position, how much money is in each fund, the water and the sewer funds, as far as we'd like to have 90 days sitting in our revenue funds for operations, and the water fund has 118 and a half days, and the sewer fund has 94.44 days worth of funding in it. And that does not include the reserve funds, which are listed on the non-budgeted funds. Sewage replacement has 925,000, and the water utility reserve has 392,000. So we are sitting at a good spot as of right now. That sewage replacement is a lot of it is about 250,000 of it is dedicated to go towards the it's from the ARPA money, American Rescue Plan Act money, and we dedicated it to the redo or the renovation of our lagoons and a new wetland facility. So still looking pretty good for the year. And then that last page, page number 75, you'll see this year's projects. Most of them completed, and all of them have been under construction. So you can see where we're at on those. Does anybody have any questions about finances or project costs? Okay. You'll have a new sheet at the beginning of the year with new projects, the projects that we plan for next year. So that will be a reset, and there might be a lingering project here and there, but overall new projects for next year. And that's all I have.
Okay. All right, next up, the standing committee reports. Does anybody have anything on street? Has anybody by chance driven out on 11th Road?
Yeah. What are we gonna do about it?
What's your thoughts on it? Yeah.
Not too bad going
South.
but when you come back, if you're going 30 miles
Going
an
back to
hour,
the north.
You're gonna lose it.
When you first drop off, come back out of it, off the end of that drive to the north isn't so bad, but dropping on the south end of that drive
That
is,
apron and that hole.
yeah.
They should have cut the driveway back toward the street and then worried about the driveway.
And I did express your concerns to CES, and I don't know if Rob showed up to take a lashing, but he said he wanted to do more investigation into it, just to see what possibilities could have come out the other way before they came back, and he's willing to talk about solutions.
Well, he'll get a reminder every day going to work, so.
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd pass that along.
All right.
Another thing on streets, how they doing on the ADA's corners?
They're about to get started on the ones on the highway. So they're getting, I think they were probably saving those for last, since they're the most complicated. I got a call today saying they were gonna set up signage for that.
They're not gonna tear like all the Broadway, or the highway up at one point, are they?
I don't think, no.
Cause you know, this late in the year, we could get a cold snap and it's gonna set like that the rest of the winter.
Oh, yeah, yeah. They wanted to get this, I think he gave it a week, to get, because it's the entrance over by, one of Landall's entrances, and then, the car wash. That's pretty much where the highway project is. It's all right in line right there.
Okay. Like I said, they're awful late in the year to be pouring concrete.
Right.
It's been lucky the weather's been,
Huh?
weather's been unusually warm.
Yeah.
Yeah, by now we wouldn't be pouring.
Not usually, no. Anybody else have anything on street? Water and wastewater? Parks and Rec? Cemetery and Airport?
Parks and Rec,
Yes.
there's been a little bit of scuttlebutt concern about the campers in the park. I know that's, different people have different concerns for different reasons about the campers in the park. Personally, I guess I've never had any issue with it. I looked at it as a general positive, but I can understand the concerns. And it does get very busy in the city park for a park. I know we want people to camp here, and I think it's a nice amenity to have. That being said, maybe that's something we can modify. Just spitballing. Between Elm and Walnut along the 7th Street corridor, we have that undefined 7th Street that's all rock right now. I know Councilman Boss, when she was in the council, brought it up a couple times, trying to either finish the street through there or do something. It's just a kind of a gap. I know they use it for the barbecue and other things. I'm not exactly sure where our property line goes west, because there's the house that I know Habitat for Humanity built, and then there's
yeah, it
what's
goes a
now
little bit
Rob's
to the
lot.
west.
There's kind of a, I don't know if it's stair steps. I really don't know how our property line goes through there, but it's little used. Would it be something where we would consider, if we want to continue offering free camping, maybe cutting back at least on the number of spots in the park, getting rid of them on the inside of the circle drive where the bandstand and things are? Maybe look at possibly putting in some spots there between 7th and Walnut. It's still adjacent, still close access to the park, close to downtown, keeps people, you know, they can walk to the wagon wheel or wherever else. Those spots can be used for the barbecue or other events. We had 220 service plotted through there. We've got no other plans for that. I don't really know what we would do with it. It's not really suitable for building a structure. I'm wondering if there's some sort of solution that could be explored here. I suppose that would fall under the auspices of park, right? To maybe relocate some of that. There's also been a boom lately. It kind of, I know it's boom and bust on the RV spot circuit around here, but I could see that being a good investment for getting people through there, could improve the area, help us find a way to finish it, also alleviate some of the concerns at the park, loosen the traffic there, kind of make it better squirrel habitat, I guess. I know that's one of the concerns, so is that something, you know, I guess I wanted to put it out there as an idea. Does anybody else
So are
have
you
any
talking
thoughts?
about that fishbowl or where the community park?
No.
It's between
how
Elm
to
and
describe
Walnut
it.
on 7th Street, where it's rock, and they park
Behind-
some
There's bandstands.
Behind the old
set
Haas
up
building.
where they have the
Bleachers?
barbecue people.
Across the railroad from where Haas was, straight west.
It's across the big site, it's on the west
Yeah.
side of the big
It's
site.
just a bunch of rock.
Yeah.
And it's city property and it's not really anything. And it seems like a possible solution to look at.
We've talked about it before, I know, in the past. One year, I think that we even had planned on doing, I think, some concrete work on that, and I think we pulled it from budget reasons or something, that
Sure.
we just didn't do it.
And I'm not saying we need to
No.
go be extravagant and do a lot, but I think a little bit could be solving some other problems and, you know, give a little more green space back to the park, get some traffic out of the park, get more people downtown, but still park
Yeah.
adjacent, kind of in between.
Any change to the park is also changing Mother's Day market.
Well, sure, you don't have to, well, but this couldn't be a change for the negative, would it? I mean.
That'd be a
I
change.
wouldn't think so.
Well, depends on who you're asking, I guess.
Well.
But the removing of plugins is basically what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people that come for the Mother's Day flea market that park down there and stay in City Park and use.
But you could do that on that individual event and then just not have it rocked and people driving through there all the time. I mean, I'm involved with the gravel dash and things, so we definitely don't want to lose spots. I mean, those spots fill up quickly for events, so I think if you had a little flexibility, but as far as like our regular standard free camping.
But isn't it limited to how long you can stay on the regular
Yes.
free camping?
Yep.
Yeah.
5 days in the 30-day
And a lot of the people stay down there do give us
5 days in 30 days.
donations.
Yeah.
I mean, it's free will, but a lot of people stay down there do give us a little bit of money for it.
Yep.
Well, no, they give us some. Yeah, because I know I've had complaints before about people charging their electric cars down there too. On a
Well,
dime.
and that's the thing too. I mean, I've got no problem with people. If somebody's going to stop for 3 hours and charge their car next to downtown and go walk around and spend some money, you can go to town.
I don't know if it's all.
Well, there's not a lot of locals with electric cars yet.
Okay.
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Not plug-in electric. I don't know, just an idea.
Anything else on Parks and Rec? Cemetery and Airport? Police and Fire? We do need the. Oh,
Sorry,
sorry.
I'm always the next, you're too dang quick. Give me a second to think, man. They've got the airport road reopened, looks great.
Is it open up?
It's
Okay.
really nice, since there was quite a hump on that corner before where the asphalt had pushed up, it's really nice. When is the gate or the cable fence gonna be reclosed as far as the temporary access? The reason I ask is when we do that, we might want to put cones along where it's closed for a little while, just because it's been open long enough.
Right.
I don't want somebody to accidentally drive into a cable, just a thought.
Yeah, that might be good.
And we probably also might need to do some remediation with, it's kind of rough through there where it, it's had a lot of traffic and it's got big holes.
Right.
So I'm sure that when they go to mow it, they're gonna appreciate having that leveled out a little bit. Do we have a plan for doing that? Just something the parks crew or cemetery crew will do?
We can make it happen, yes. And just while you're on the topic, we were in discussion with our engineer about, because there was a complaint from, somebody was taking pictures of their car on the tarmac. And the engineer pointed out that the FAA doesn't allow cars and hangars to mix. Vehicles in the airport don't mix. Not supposed to drive out to your hangar, not supposed to drive out unless you're an authorized vehicle. So just putting that out there. Not that we're stopping anything right now, but that's if the FAA were to come down, and that's where we're supposed to be at. But no, I don't want tire tracks left there. That's not, that won't look very good. So we can get that fixed.
Yeah, it's more of a the mowers are gonna have fun with those ruts and things too, so.
Yep.
All right. Anything else on Cemetery and Airport? Okay, Police and Fire? We probably, the new council's on now, and I know we were kind of waiting until they got on for council to decide how they wanted to handle the interview process and hiring of a new chief of police. So thoughts on how you want to go about that? If you want to have an ad hoc committee be part of the interview process, or you want the Police and Fire Committee to be part of that process. We have, I think, quite a few candidates, don't we now? So,
I'd say we do the same way we did the city administrator.
I don't know how we did. I wasn't on here when we did that.
You wasn't, was you here then? We had, video
appearances?
Conference call, whatever, radio conference call. Did we ask them
Full
questions?
council or?
Full
Okay.
council.
Did we ask them questions?
I think we have,
At least 5.
if I remember, I set them up for half hour, one take.
Yeah.
Was it over 2 days?
Did we do that in one night, or did we do it?
I think it was over,
Nights.
yeah.
We did a follow-up.
Well, that would have been police and fire.
I mean, you can do it that way, like I say, where you can just go with a smaller committee. It's, I mean, do you guys want to have full council be part of that process, or do you want just the police and fire committee to handle that and give a recommendation to council, or?
I think full council. I mean, you guys waited for the new members to get on, and not all of us sit on the police and fire.
No.
So I feel like personally it should be full council.
I think I'll be a whole.
Everybody? Okay. So, I guess I'll see you want to handle
So
planning up a
then,
time to do that.
if we narrow down a candidate, the full council's still gonna do that process and interview too? Because are you gonna do a second interview, actually bring them in instead of doing a Zoom?
I mean, I don't know how the city hiring process works. You know what I mean? Like
Well, generally for most positions, Austin is the one that hires and fires. This has been a little bit more controversial than a lot of hirings and firings in the past, which is why I think it'd be better to have council involved in the process more than typically would be the case. But ultimately, it would be Austin hiring a new chief, basically with input from council, or maybe a recommendation from council.
Well, I just know normally you would interview them all if you want to do it over Zoom. And then if you narrow down and you have 2, then you might want to bring them in for an actual in-person
interview.
Correct?
Correct. No, if you were gonna do Zoom, then you move to the next level.
Right.
There's no way you don't bring them in.
Right.
And then there's also candidates who are not gonna be Zoom, obviously. There's one that says he's coming back to town, or one of the candidates can be in person. Multiple candidates can be in person.
So will they be available if we would do it in the evening? That's another consideration.
That's where we would go. That's where the majority of it, everybody's in the evening, especially if we're including council. That's where we would have it.
What time works best for everybody? 6, 7?
What day of the meeting?
I know.
Yeah. Next week, 3 weeks?
I'll say after the first of the year, any night, I could probably make work.
Anything.
Tuesdays and Fridays don't work, Wednesdays don't work.
Mondays and
Monday night
Thursdays.
city council meetings don't work.
Mondays and Thursdays.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Saturday night.
Okay.
Plus, I know plenty enough ahead of time, I could miss.
Yeah, I guess time frame. I mean, I know the holidays close. At the same time, we've been without a chief for what, around 3 months at this point.
Tuesdays and Fridays, look at the basketball schedule. For last days of playing basketball, I'm gonna watch them.
Let's look at the calendar back here.
I think the mayor makes a good point too. I mean, we have gone 2.5, 3 months now, so we don't need to get in a hurry.
No, but we need to start throwing schedules out there.
We need to start getting it out there, but.
We've actually, to counter that, we've had people on the hook for 2 to 3 months now.
Yeah. Because we extended it once for about another, 6 weeks or so. There's
Okay.
2, 3 candidates that have been for that long at least.
Between Christmas and New Year's, there's not basketball, is there?
Okay, let me get my little thing on the 30th of December, which is a Thursday. I need a meeting that just brings you guys back in to approve my pay ordinance, because I can't get them all in the first one. I just have to have 5 people. The only thing that happens at the meeting is you approve that, but I do want to throw that out there before you go fill in your schedules. And usually we try to do it around noon, because we have to be able to get the checks written and we have to be able to get them signed. So if anybody has, I mean, we can do it at 2, we can do it at 1, we can do it at 10:30, just tell me. But somebody, I need 5 people.
I tell you right now, that leaves me out.
You're out, okay.
The 27th is the next meeting.
Right, but see, that's almost a week and a half of invoices. We're gonna have Evergy, we're gonna have payroll, we're gonna have some bills that I gotta have.
You're gonna have your end of the year.
We always do.
And so, I just need somebody that can commit to.
Do it after 2, I can probably make that work, after the lunch hour.
Okay, so to circle back, I mean, there is an option, I hate to do it this way. Well, actually, if we provide a meal, if people can show up at 5, if that's an option. For a council meeting, show up at 5, schedule, do the half an hour,
And then do council meeting after that?
yeah, do council meeting after that. I don't know if it could fit, I mean, I might, on the 27th. That way, we're all waiting for a meeting anyways. And
Could we back council meeting to 7:30 if you want to do half an hour for each person? I mean, is that permissible?
you come into that meeting and you just go, because the meetings we're gonna have are going into executive
Oh,
session.
that's true.
So you come into the meeting, call executive session for half an hour, and then you're good. So if we, we'll tell the candidates 20 minutes scheduled, that way we can have that, okay, setting up for the next one, and then go from there.
Anybody have any objections to that?
On the 27th?
Yeah.
27.
I'll be in Tennessee.
I'll be gone that week, but
So you're gonna be in Florida.
2 weeks.
Okay, is anybody gonna be in Kansas?
Yeah, we gotta have at least 5.
I mean, that's.
Which is okay, I mean, you can do it with 5.
Yeah.
Because you're not making
You
any
can't.
decisions in executive session.
No.
I got nothing on the 27th. Since we're closed on Mondays, my Mondays are pretty open.
So Todd, you won't be here on the 27th, you won't be here on the 27th,
Okay.
and you won't be on the 27th, so we know that we gotta have 5 to get to a quorum
For the regular meeting.
for our regular meetings, everybody else has gotta be here.
That's just for the meeting
Just for the
anyways.
regular meeting.
Yeah,
is
just
what
for
I
the
said.
regular meeting,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm just throwing it out
So
there.
that was an idea, and then,
Except
that is a good point. If you're away, well, I mean, that's an option if you're not always gonna be there.
As long as we have 5.
So you can zoom in to the
That's what I was
meeting,
gonna say.
but you're
But you're not
flying
gonna
back,
wanna
so
zoom
that's a
in if you're in
challenge.
Aruba, are you?
I can.
Do you have
different.
capabilities to zoom in?
Depends on my flight,
Yeah.
and where we're at. I know they're subject to delays lately, so
Oh.
we'll see.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've flown, but yeah.
When will you be back, Todd? 4th.
Oh.
Okay.
New Year's in Aruba.
And you'll be coming back on that day, on the 27th?
Yeah. About it.
I'll be back after the first of the year too.
Do we have a date
Going
after
back
the
to
first
that
of the week
first
we'll
year?
go back to?
I will be, first of the year, I'll be back.
Yeah, but you'll be gone that whole week.
Yes, I'll be from New
Okay.
Year's Eve, Christmas Eve till.
Okay.
Well,
So moving it one
3.
day is not gonna make a bit of difference then.
Or you, or next month, next
So
Monday. Are people available next
next
Monday?
Monday?
Next Monday,
Next Monday?
yeah.
The 3rd.
No,
20th of
the
December.
20th, the
Oh,
20th,
goodness.
yeah.
Yes, I
If we get
actually
Monday.
am. We don't have any basketball games that
Be
week.
available.
I'm available.
I'm available.
Yep.
Okay.
Time, 5 o'clock, 5:30,
Start at 5.
5, okay.
No, let's go 5:30.
5:30.
5:30.
5:30.
Keith doesn't get off till right at 5, so.
Okay,
I'm sure
5:30
he's-
on December 20th. And that's a special meeting for interviews.
So do these standing committees, do they meet like on a monthly basis? Like,
Just as
Only as needed ever.
There's some of those committees haven't met for years.
Like the water committee, if somebody has a problem with the water bill, we'll
Yeah.
meet early before the council meeting if we have to or something. Or, you know, just if we need to meet for some reason. Admin, finance, signs, there's a box of bills every month.
I showed it to her today.
And,
Yep.
and
Let's draw the
admin and
invoices.
finance signs those.
Okay, so back to my meeting on the 30th. Can I get 5 people here or do I have to change it?
what time?
Anytime during the day's great. Yeah, well, it can't hardly be later than, 2 would work. That'll work because we just gotta be able to print the checks and get them signed. I gotta tell Keith Gaffer to stay somewhere in his office for that day or I gotta chase him down.
If more people can make it at lunch, do lunch.
Yeah, what about like 12:30 or something, while we're on our lunch break from work?
That would be available for 12:30 or at least. You're not gonna be here at 12:30. Parker, 12:30, 12:30.
I can, yeah.
Okay.
I can, but.
Yeah, I can't even get you at 2, can I? No, I won't have, there's no way.
What time are you guys available?
I'm not available till 4:15.
Yeah.
5 o'clock it is.
I can't do it at 5
Can't
o'clock.
do it already.
I can, I've done it before. I can stay and print the checks and then see if I can find Keith Gaffer to sign something. Okay, how about a day in front of that?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm concerned about, the 27th. Are we gonna have enough people for the 27th for the scheduled
If
meeting?
everybody said they were gonna be in town.
There's
We got
5
three,
of us.
we got 3 gone for sure, so if
We're okay for the 27th.
everybody else,
but-
we've barely got a quorum for the 27th.
I mean,
3, 4, 5.
yeah.
We got 5.
Yeah, they all show up with. Could we do it on the 29th? That way, if we did it at 5, we could print the checks on the 30th, is where I was trying to go. 5 o'clock on the 29th. I mean, does that work at all? That I could get 5 people here
Yeah, I should be.
I should be.
on the 29th?
Yes, I'm wide open because there's no school.
Okay, so December 29th at 5 o'clock,
Okay.
we'll have, and what it is all we do is we recess the meeting from the 27th, and it is
Convene.
Yes, reconvene on the 29th at 5. We don't adjourn it, we recess it, and then come in and approve the bills, and then we go. Okay.
And I will let you know if I can be able to Zoom.
Oh,
We don't, yeah, if you're, well,
We're doing it on the.
we're doing it on the 20th.
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 Oh, please, okay.
Yeah, 20th not.
Yep.
Before you leave,
Have some questions online.
before everybody's gone.
Before everybody leaves.
Yeah.
When you leaving?
For some reason, you were starting off about 27th.
Okay. So
Yeah,
that's
we
when
tried that.
Yeah, we did, but
Yeah.
it didn't work out. Okay, all right.
So can we get clarification on what our meetings are?
All right,
Are you confused?
okay, so at 5:30 on December 20th, meet here, we'll set up interviews consecutively. I'll tell them 20 minutes long, so we have that extra 10 minutes just in case it goes over. And then we'll talk about it after that and narrow down from there. And then set up second interviews after that. And then on 12/29 at 5 o'clock, you come here again, and it's just a short, should be just a short approve. That way she can print the checks so we can pay our bills so we keep the lights on. And the 27th is your
27th
normal,
is our normal meeting.
and it is at 7 o'clock, just like.
So if we're only allowing these people 20 minutes, can we get like some resumes or
Yes.
like something to look at before we only give them 20 minutes?
Oh, no, I don't get to see that stuff.
I think that's important. I mean, I think especially if somebody can't be here, they can have some questions prepared.
No, we can definitely work on that.
Like a packet that could be shared with the council.
Yes. I got that.
basically, they're gonna probably tell you their resume right offhand to begin with. It's what they're probably gonna start with.
Right.
Question,
Yes.
how are you getting to the interviews? And how many are you going to interview?
We're gonna work that out. What do you mean, how are you getting to the interviews?
Well, is the council or a committee narrowing the pool?
They decided the council as a whole is going to narrow the pool down.
And we have 5 applicants.
And when are you doing that?
The 20th of December. That'll be an executive session, but it'll be a special meeting on the 20th of December.
Before you start the interview?
Well, the interviews will
are
be.
an executive session.
I know, but if the interviews are on the 20th, are you narrowing?
No, the interviews are the narrowing process.
So you're gonna interview everyone who applied?
Right.
I just wanna make sure I understand.
Yep.
Okay. And they'll fit in one night?
Yes, yeah. The way we just lined it out, 20 minutes apiece at least.
Okay.
Yep.
So how many applied?
5.
5. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, that's all settled. Anything else on police and fire? Admin finance? The appointments, and I hope everybody's pleased with, okay. I mean, I left basically everybody where they were at. I think, Kevin, I pulled one from you because you had 4 committees. So I narrowed you down a little bit. Otherwise, everybody else should have, most of you should have 3 committees or at least 2 apiece. And it kind of worked out because I think that the positions that were open, a lot of new council members in, I think it kind of, some of their strengths maybe, or what I thought were their strengths on the different committees. So I'm trying to remember, in the past, did you ever find out, do we usually vote on the committee?
I did not go and look. I know you said you thought they did. I thought standing committees, the mayor just appointed.
I mean, the mayor appoints them, but did we vote on them in the past? I'm trying to remember.
On what? On standing committees.
The standing committee appointments.
I thought those were just appointed, but they thought they were just appointed myself.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if we voted on them in the past or not. I wasn't sure. So, okay.
So you have a list on your desk of everybody that's on the committees with you now, on the entire committee.
And then while you're talking about appointments, in the code book, when I was reading through that, and it says at your first meeting you have to appoint, I don't know the wordage, don't quote me on any of this, but the president of the council and
Need to do that.
all of that.
The president.
Like I said, I don't remember the verbiage, I don't have it in front of me, but.
And the president, as long as I've been on council, it's been Kevin. And he has, I mean, it's not very often that they have to fill in. Yeah, I think I've missed 1 meeting in 2 years, and the previous mayor might have missed a couple maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not very often that the president of the council gets to fill in. When they do, they've kind of got superpowers.
Because they get to vote.
Because they get a vote, yeah, they get all the powers of the mayor, plus they get a vote, so. But yeah, I guess it's up to whether Kevin wants to do it again, or if council wants to nominate somebody else.
I nominate Kevin for president of the council.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain?
Abstain.
All right. Otherwise, we don't have anything with the city attorney. He's not here. He typically is here every other meeting most of the time.
Second meeting of the month. Yeah.
He has other engagements some of the other nights, but yeah, one meeting a month he's typically here. You know, anything else that you want to say?
I did not have anything else.
All right. Does anybody need to call an executive session for anything?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Which one?
The person, he just said personnel. Hey, wait a minute.
Tell me when you're ready.
What time is it? 8:31.
I'm ready.
I move the city council recess into executive session to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel, discussion on specific personnel matters, not general personnel policies, exemption KSA 75-4319B1. This session will include the mayor, city council members, city administrator. Meeting will resume at 8:45.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, 8-0. hit or clean out or something and broke it, and then they covered it up thinking it was nothing, and dirt and mud got down in there. So,
We'll wait a little while. Okay, go for it.
well, right. Calls meeting back into session. No binding decisions were made. We continue on with our regular meeting. Roundtable. You got anything, Todd?
Sure. Glad to see they got that stump ground down there by the street shop. That looks nice, cleaned up. Cool, they jumped right on that. Looks good. The sign, the Welcome to Marysville sign that faces the viaduct over here, has lights on it.
Yeah.
Do we maintain the lights on that?
Yeah.
It's fine. It's not about that sign. The sign on the south side of town, the one on 77, that's a different style, is like invisible at night. I noticed when I rolled into town at like 10 o'clock last night. Is there any way we can put a light on that pretty inexpensively and easily? Just since we've got a nice sign that's maintained and you can only see it for this time of year, 7 hours a day. I mean, 10 hours a day, it's not very long. Is that something we've ever considered?
That one's gonna be
changed?
replaced, and it's gonna be a 20-foot tall,
That new one.
Marysville sign.
It's gonna be part of that new program?
Yeah, it is.
And is it gonna be lit?
Forget, there's
Talked about it.
I don't
but
remember
can't
seeing anything in the stuff about a light, and I couldn't find anything.
I knew there was gonna
I
be a
just thought
challenge,
if we could
'cause
get a
there's-
light here on this one, then the light would serve the new one too.
There's no
There's
electricity
no
down
power
there.
close.
Yeah. That's the problem. But I think it was talked about,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it'd be nice since it's kind of inconsistent and there's nothing else really telling you you're in Marysville when you're coming from that way. There's no city limit sign, there's nothing other than a speed limit drawing. I guess that's it. Oh, welcome to the new member. Serve your sentence and you might get out on parole before. That's it.
All right. Jeff?
I really don't have anything. I do look forward to working with all of you. Look forward to learning off of you and hope that I can offer something to help contribute to the better cause. So, thank you.
Lori?
What Jeff said.
Keith?
Being, the weather as it is nice out there at Lakeview, we talked about the one diamond, take out the hump. Was it the blue diamond?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, that's something they could probably be working on since it's real nice out before the season really gets started.
They should have been on it a long time ago, so they could have got grass planted back before it got
winter.
bad, yeah.
Okay.
And I had a lot of good compliments from people that how well the cemetery looks with the flags, flag posts. That's what I got.
Kyle?
I'll kind of echo Jeff's sentiments that I'm looking forward to learning this process and serving the community, so.
Parker?
Nothing tonight.
Colleen? Kevin?
Yeah, on the Kester block, who maintains the buildings downtown?
it depends on what it is. So like, a lot of the inside stuff is covered by the contracts, and it's covered, the people renting it take care of that. And then the exterior is a lot of ours.
Okay, I'll be in visit with you about it then.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's all I have this evening.
All I've got is just welcome to the new members, and I look forward to 2 productive years. And that's all I've got.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?